My child, take a moment right now and pay close attention. Do not rush through this message. Do not let your focus drift away from what I am getting ready to say. Read this before it disappears. This moment showing up in your life was not an accident. You might assume you stumbled across these words while scrolling through your day. But I am telling you the truth. I set this moment up. I drew your attention here because there is something you need to hear right now. This is not random. This is not by chance. This is a divine interruption placed deliberately in your path. My beloved child, the world around you moves fast. Every day, people scroll past thousands of messages, voices, and distractions. They rarely slow down long enough to hear what truly matters. But right now, I am asking you to stop. Do not skip over this moment. Do not let the noise of life take away what I have set aside for you today. You may not fully understand it yet, but this moment carries real weight. It is time-sensitive in ways your eyes cannot see. I have placed this message in front of you now because your heart has been searching, and the answer you need can no longer wait. I know what your days have been like lately. I know the silent burden you have been carrying deep inside your heart. I know the thoughts that have kept you awake at night and the questions that have followed you through each day. You have been wondering if anyone can see what you are going through. You have wondered if your prayers have truly reached me. Maybe you have asked, even in the silence of your own mind, Lord, are you listening? Do you know what I need? My child, I have been listening the entire time. That is exactly why I am speaking now. But before we go further, I want you to do something simple. Just for a moment, close your eyes. Do not worry about what is happening around you. Let the noise fade. Let the rushing thoughts slow down. Close your eyes with the quiet understanding that I am right here with you. When you close your eyes, I will meet you there. You may be wondering what that means. When the distractions of the world fall quiet, even for just a moment, your heart becomes able to hear my voice much more clearly. I do not always speak through thunder or dramatic displays. Often, I speak through stillness. In that quiet space where your spirit is open and your heart is truly listening. When you close your eyes, you are not stepping into emptiness. You are entering a space where my presence is already waiting. My child, I want to speak directly to your heart today, not to the surface of your thoughts, not to the voice of doubt that sometimes whispers to you, but to the deepest place inside you, where your most honest questions live. I know the longing that has been growing within you. I know the hope you have been holding on to. I know the prayers you have spoken even when you were not sure anyone was hearing them. And I want you to know something right now that will completely change the way you see this moment. I have urgent good news for you today. Yes, my child, good news. Not empty words. Not vague comfort. Real hope that has already started moving in ways you have not yet seen. The prayers you spoke have not gone unanswered. Heaven heard them. Every whisper from your heart reached me. Every tear that fell had meaning. Every time you called my name. Even when your faith felt small, I was listening. You may not have seen the answers appear yet, but that does not mean nothing has been happening. While you were waiting, heaven was already in motion. While you were wondering if anything would change, I was already arranging what needed to be arranged. Things are unfolding in your life right now that you cannot fully see yet, but they are absolutely real. My beloved child, I know that waiting has not been easy for you. There were moments when you believed nothing would ever change. There were days when hope felt fragile and your patience felt completely spent. But even in those moments, you were never forgotten. The movement of heaven does not always happen in places human eyes can immediately see. But today I want you to know, something is shifting. That is why this message is reaching you now. This is not just another ordinary moment in your day. This is an invitation. It is an invitation to listen, to receive, and to remain present long enough to hear what I want to reveal to you. Many people miss their miracles because they leave too soon. They scroll past the exact moment meant for them because doubt tells them it does not matter. They let distractions steal the message that was supposed to bring hope into their life. Do not make that mistake now. Do not scroll away. Do not dismiss what is happening in this moment. I brought you here because your heart is ready to receive what I am about to say. If you leave too quickly, you may miss the very word that answers the questions you have been carrying. I say this not to create fear, but because I know how easily the enemy tries to take what I am giving you. Distraction is one of the simplest ways miracles get missed. So stay here with me a little longer. Let your heart remain open. Let your mind grow still. The world will keep moving around you, but for this moment, I want you to stay right where you are. Something important is unfolding between us right now. I am speaking to you personally, not to a crowd, not to a distant audience. To you, the one who opened this message, the one who has been looking for reassurance, the one who has been quietly hoping for a sign. My child, you are not here by accident. I guided you to this moment because I love you, and because the good news I have for you deserves to be heard clearly. Close your eyes again if you need to. Take a slow breath. Feel the quiet for just a moment, and let this truth settle deep inside your heart. You were meant to hear this message today, and what I am about to reveal will begin to change everything. My beloved child, listen closely to what I am about to say, because this moment carries far more meaning than you may realize. You might think you simply came across this by chance, that you happened to open it while scrolling through your day, or that it appeared in front of you without a deeper reason. But your heart needs to hear this clearly right now. This moment is not random. You are not here by accident. I guided you here for a reason. Before your eyes ever saw these words, before your mind even decided to open this message, I already knew this moment would happen. I knew the exact time you would arrive here. I knew the thoughts you would be carrying when you began reading. I knew the questions weighing on your mind, the quiet worries sitting inside your thoughts, and the deep longing growing within your spirit. Because I know you so fully, I arranged this moment so you would hear what you need to hear right now. You may believe that life is filled with random encounters and accidental moments. But my child, when it comes to you, I am involved in more of your story than you understand. I see the paths you walk, the choices you make, and even the small moments when you pause to look for something that brings peace to your heart. Many of the moments you consider ordinary are actually part of a quiet guidance I place over your life. I do not always lead you through loud signs or overwhelming displays. Often, I guide you gently, through small movements, subtle nudges, and quiet impressions within your heart. The reason you open this message today is not simply because it showed up in front of you. It is because something inside your spirit recognized that you needed to be here. Your mind may not have understood why, but your spirit felt the pull to pause and listen. That pull did not come from coincidence. It came from the quiet way I lead those I love. My beloved child, there are moments in your life when you feel like you are searching for answers, and sometimes you cannot even fully explain what you are searching for. Sometimes it is peace. Sometimes it is reassurance. Sometimes it is simply the hope that someone sees the struggles you are carrying. In those moments of searching, your heart begins reaching toward me even when you are not fully aware of it. And when your heart reaches toward me, I respond. That is why you are here now. You may have thought you were simply passing time, scrolling through messages without any real expectation. But I was guiding your steps even in that simple action. I saw the exact moment your attention paused. I saw the instant your eyes settled on these words. And I knew that was the moment you needed to hear my voice. My child, I want you to understand how carefully your life is held in my hands. Nothing about you is insignificant to me. I know the small details of your life just as deeply as the large ones. I see the days when your heart feels hopeful and the days when it feels tired. I see the questions that remain unanswered and the quiet prayers you speak when no one else is around. Even when the world fails to notice you, you are never unnoticed by me. The reason I guided you here is because your heart has been carrying something heavy. You may have tried to hide it behind a smile or push it aside while keeping up with your responsibilities. But I see what others cannot see. I know the thoughts that come to you late at night when the world grows quiet. I know the moments when you wonder if things will ever change, when you question whether the path ahead will become clearer. And because I know these things, I brought you here today so you would hear this truth. You are not walking through this season of life alone. My beloved child, the timing of this moment matters. You are reading these words now because your heart is ready to receive what I want to speak into your life. If you had come across this message at another time, you may not have understood it the same way. But today, in this exact moment, your spirit is open in a way that allows my words to reach deeper inside you. I arranged the timing carefully. I saw the struggles that had been building in your heart. I saw the questions forming within your thoughts. I saw the moments when you quietly asked for guidance, even when you used very few words. And because I heard those silent prayers, I prepared this moment as part of my answer to you. You are not here by coincidence. You are here because I love you enough to reach into your day and remind you that I am present in your life. Sometimes you may feel as though your life is unfolding without clear direction. as if you are simply moving from one day to the next without knowing where you are being led. But my child, even when you cannot clearly see the path ahead, I am still guiding your steps. The same way I guided you to this message is the same way I guide many other moments in your life. I open doors quietly. I place the right people in your path. I direct your attention toward what your heart needs at exactly the right time. My guidance is often gentle, but it is never absent. You may not always recognize it in the moment, but when you look back on your life one day, you will see how many moments were carefully arranged to lead you exactly where you needed to go. This moment is one of those moments. You are here because I wanted you to pause long enough to hear me speak directly to you. My beloved child, do not dismiss what is happening right now as something small. What you are experiencing in this moment is part of a deeper connection between your heart and mine. I am reminding you that I am near. I am reminding you that I am more involved in your life than you realize. Even when you feel uncertain about the future, I know exactly where your path is leading. Even when your heart feels tired from waiting, I am still working in ways you cannot yet see. The same care that guided you to this message is the same care that continues to guide your life. You are not lost. You are not forgotten. You are being led. Your spirit recognized the moment I prepared for you today. That is why you stopped here. That quiet pull you felt to open this message was not random curiosity. It was your heart responding to my presence. And now that you are here, I want you to stay a little longer and listen carefully. Because the reason I guided you here goes beyond simply reminding you that I am near. There is something more I want to reveal to you. Something that will bring clarity and hope into the place where you have been searching for answers. So remain here with me, my beloved child. Let your heart stay open and your mind grow still. This moment was prepared for you. And what I am about to speak next will begin to unfold the reason why I guided you here today. My beloved child, come closer and listen with the deepest part of your heart. Because what I am about to tell you is something you have wondered about many times. There were moments when you felt as if your voice disappeared into silence. As if the prayers you whispered late at night faded into the darkness without reaching anyone. There were nights when you looked up toward heaven and quietly asked, "Lord, do you hear me?" You spoke those words not from pride, but from a heart that was tired, a spirit that had been carrying more weight than you could easily explain. I want you to understand something clearly now. Heaven heard your quiet cry. Every prayer you spoke reached me. Every whisper that left your lips traveled farther than you imagined. Even the prayers that never became words, the ones that lived only inside your heart, were heard. I know that sometimes your prayers did not sound like long speeches or beautifully formed sentences. Sometimes they were only a few broken words spoken through tears. Sometimes they were nothing more than a sigh, a moment of silence where your heart was weeping even though your lips said nothing. But my child, those moments were not invisible to me. There were nights when you cried alone, when you believed no one could see the tears on your face. You may have tried to hide those tears even from the people closest to you. During the day you carried on, speaking normally, smiling when you had to, doing your best to appear strong. But when the quiet hours arrived and you were finally alone, the emotions you had been holding back began to rise to the surface. You remember those nights, don't you? The room was quiet and your thoughts grew louder. Questions moved through your mind one after another. You wondered why certain situations had become so difficult. You wondered why the answers you hoped for had not yet come. Sometimes the heaviness in your heart felt so strong that you did not even know how to pray properly. All you could do was sit in silence, feeling overwhelmed, hoping somehow that I would still understand what your heart was trying to say. My beloved child, I understood every single moment. I saw you when you quickly wiped your tears away, thinking no one was watching. I saw you when your shoulders felt heavy from carrying worries you did not want to share with anyone else. I saw the moments when your voice trembled as you whispered my name, quietly asking for help because you did not know where else to turn. Those moments meant more to me than you realize. The world often pushes people to hide their pain, to act as though everything is fine even when their hearts feel broken inside. But when you came to me in those quiet moments, when your heart was honest and open even through its pain, those were the moments your spirit was speaking to me most clearly. You may have asked, "Lord, why does life feel so heavy right now?" Or, "Lord, will things ever change?" Perhaps you wondered whether I truly saw what you were going through. You may even have wondered if your prayers were too small or too insignificant to reach heaven. But my child, not one of those prayers was lost. Every single one reached me. When you cried alone, heaven noticed. When you asked for help, heaven listened. When you felt overwhelmed and did not know how to keep going, I was right beside you, even though you could not see me. There were moments when you felt like you were standing alone in a storm. The circumstances around you seemed confusing and the future ahead looked uncertain. You tried to remain strong, but inside you felt exhausted. You wondered how much longer you could carry everything that was happening in your life. My beloved child, I saw that struggle. I saw the courage it took for you to keep going even when your heart felt weary. I saw the strength you showed even when your faith felt fragile. I saw the way you continued to hold on to hope even in the moments when hope seemed nearly impossible to carry. Sometimes you believed your prayers were too quiet to be heard. But let me tell you something your heart needs to understand deeply. I do not measure prayers by how loud they are or how many words they contain. I listen to the sincerity of the heart. I hear the prayers spoken through tears just as clearly as the prayers spoken through confident voices. When your heart cried out, I heard you. When you whispered my name in the darkness, I heard you. When you asked for help with a trembling voice, I heard you. Even when you could not form words at all, and your heart simply ached in silence, I still heard you. You must understand that heaven is never deaf to the cries of a sincere heart. The prayers you thought were hidden were not hidden from me. They rose up like a gentle call that reached my heart immediately. My child, there were also moments when you felt crushed under the weight of your circumstances. Problems seemed to pile up all at once, and your mind struggled to find any peace. You tried to find solutions and plan a way forward, but sometimes the situation felt far larger than your ability to handle. In those moments you turned toward me, even if only for a brief second. Perhaps you simply said, Lord, please help me. Perhaps you only closed your eyes for a moment, hoping I would intervene. I want you to know that I heard those prayers too. Not only did I hear them, I cared about them deeply. Every time your heart reached toward me, I responded with love. Sometimes my response arrived in ways you did not immediately recognize. Sometimes it came through an unexpected peace that touched your heart for a moment. Sometimes it came through a strength that helped you keep moving even when you felt weak. My beloved child, you may not always see the answers right away, but that does not mean I am not working. The movement of heaven does not always appear instantly before human eyes. Sometimes it begins quietly, unfolding step by step until the moment arrives when you can finally see clearly what I have been doing all along. But one truth remains certain above everything else: your prayers were heard. Your quiet cries were not ignored. Your tears were not wasted. Every moment you reached toward me mattered. I want you to feel the comfort of this truth today. You are not invisible. Your struggles are not unnoticed. The things that weigh on your heart are important to me because you are important to me. You never had to shout to get my attention. Your quietest whisper was always enough. Even now, as you hear these words, I am still near to you. I still see the thoughts moving through your mind. I still understand the emotions that sometimes feel impossible to explain, and I still care deeply about every part of your life. My beloved child, heaven heard your quiet cry, and heaven is still listening. My beloved child, I want to speak to you about something that has been quietly happening inside your life for a long time. There were days when you woke up already feeling tired, not just in your body, but deep within your spirit. You may have wondered why your heart felt heavy even when nothing obvious had happened that day. You tried to push through your responsibilities, tried to stay hopeful, tried to keep moving forward. Yet there was a weight inside you that would not easily lift. Sometimes you asked yourself, why do I feel so drained? Why does my faith feel so tired? My child, the reason you felt that way is because you were not only dealing with ordinary problems. You were standing in the middle of a spiritual battle, even if you did not fully recognize it at the time. There are moments in life when the struggles you face are not only physical or emotional. There are moments when unseen forces attempt to discourage your spirit, to weaken your faith, and to fill your mind with thoughts that slowly steal your hope. The enemy saw the light that lives inside you. He saw the faith that had been growing in your heart, and he knew that if that faith continued to grow, it would lead you into the purpose I prepared for your life. Because of that, he began trying to discourage you in quiet ways. His goal was not always to destroy you suddenly. Often his plan was far slower and more subtle. He wanted to exhaust you. He wanted to fill your mind with doubt. He wanted you to feel so tired that you would eventually stop believing anything good was still waiting ahead for you. My beloved child, that is why you experienced so many moments of doubt. Doubt does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it slips quietly into your thoughts like a whisper. It tells you that maybe your prayers are not working. It tells you that maybe things will never change. It tells you that perhaps you have been hoping for too much. These thoughts can repeat themselves again and again until your heart begins to feel uncertain. There were days when you questioned whether you were strong enough to keep believing. You looked at the challenges in front of you and wondered if your faith was too small. Sometimes you even questioned whether I was truly at work in your life. My child, those thoughts did not come from me. They were part of the battle taking place around your spirit. The enemy knows that if he can weaken your hope, he can slow your progress. If he can make you believe nothing will change, he can cause you to stop expecting miracles. That is why he tried to plant seeds of doubt in your mind. But even in those moments when doubt appeared, your heart did not completely turn away from me. Something inside you kept reaching for truth even when your thoughts felt confused. Fear also tried to surround your heart. Fear has a way of making problems look much larger than they truly are. It whispers that the future is uncertain, that things may fall apart, that you may not be able to handle what lies ahead. Fear tries to paralyze your spirit, so you hesitate instead of moving forward with courage. You may remember the times when fear kept you awake at night. Your mind imagined situations that had not even happened yet. You worried about things still far away in the future. The enemy often uses fear to create storms inside the mind, storms that make it difficult to see clearly. My beloved child, I saw every moment when fear tried to overwhelm you. I saw the nights when your thoughts kept racing and your heart struggled to find peace. I saw the way you tried to calm yourself, sometimes repeating small prayers, sometimes simply asking me quietly to help you feel safe again. And I was there with you. Even when your thoughts were confused and your emotions felt fragile, I remained right beside you. The enemy may have tried to shake your confidence, but he could not remove my presence from your life. There was also another weight you carried during this season: emotional exhaustion. When someone fights many battles at once, their spirit can grow deeply tired. You faced challenges that demanded patience, strength, and endurance. You tried to remain strong for others. You tried to keep your responsibilities moving forward. Yet inside your heart, you sometimes felt like you had almost nothing left. My child, emotional exhaustion often comes when someone has been standing in spiritual battle for a long time. It is not a sign of weakness. It is simply the result of carrying many burdens without fully understanding why they all arrived at once. There were moments when you felt like giving up, not in dramatic ways, but in quiet thoughts where you wondered if continuing to hope was even worth it. You asked yourself whether it might just be easier to stop expecting anything good to happen. The enemy wanted you to reach that place. His goal was not only to bring problems into your life, but to make you lose hope entirely. If he could get you to stop believing, he could stop the future I had prepared for you. But my beloved child, he underestimated something very important. He underestimated the strength of the faith I placed inside your heart. Even when you felt spiritually tired, even when doubt and fear surrounded your thoughts, something inside you kept reaching for me. You may not have felt strong, but you kept praying. You may not have understood everything that was happening, but you still listened for my voice. That quiet faith inside you was stronger than the enemy ever expected. You did not give up. Even when you felt tired, you kept going. Even when doubt whispered, you continued searching for truth. Even when fear tried to overwhelm you, you still called my name. My beloved child, that perseverance is powerful. Spiritual battles are not always visible, but they are very real. The enemy wanted to discourage you so deeply that you would lose hope in the future I have prepared for you. But he could not succeed because my presence has been protecting you even when you could not clearly see it. The exhaustion you felt was not meaningless. It was evidence that you had been fighting real battles in your spirit. And the fact that you are still here, still listening, still searching for my voice, means that the enemy did not win. Now I want you to understand something important. The spiritual battle you have been facing is not the end of your story. It is part of a process that is strengthening your faith. Every challenge you have faced has been teaching your spirit how to rely on me more deeply. Every moment when doubt appeared has been teaching you how to recognize truth more clearly. You may have felt tired, but your spirit was growing stronger. You may have felt discouraged, but your faith was being refined. You may have felt surrounded by darkness, but the light inside you never disappeared. My beloved child, the enemy wanted you to lose hope, but he failed. Your heart is still open. Your spirit is still listening. Your faith is still alive. That means the battle has not defeated you. And now that you understand what has been happening, you will begin to see your life with clearer eyes. The spiritual warfare that tried to exhaust you will no longer control your thoughts the same way, because now you know the truth. You were never fighting alone. My beloved child, now listen carefully, because what I am about to tell you carries the hope your heart has been waiting for. For a long time you have walked through uncertainty, through questions, through moments when it felt like nothing around you was changing. You prayed and waited. You hoped and watched. Sometimes you wondered if anything was moving at all. But today I want you to hear something clearly from my heart to yours. I have good news for you today. Yes, my child, good news. Not the kind of empty promise that fades away with time. Real good news that has already begun to unfold around your life. You may not see the full picture yet, but I see it clearly. I know the doors that are about to open before you. I know the answers that are already forming in ways you cannot yet see. I know the help that is quietly moving toward you even now. For a long time you have been standing in a season of waiting. Waiting can feel lonely, can it not? It can feel like standing in a quiet room where nothing seems to move. You look ahead and see no sign of change. You look back and remember the prayers you spoke weeks or months ago. You ask yourself if the moment of breakthrough will ever arrive. My child, the season of waiting is not the end of your story. It is the place where preparation happens. While you were waiting, I was working. While you were wondering if anything was changing, I was arranging what needed to be arranged. There are things unfolding in your life right now that you cannot yet see with your eyes, but they are completely real. I know there were times when you felt discouraged. There were days when you wondered if your situation would ever shift. You tried to stay patient, but hope felt fragile in those moments. I saw every one of those moments. I saw the courage it took for you to keep believing even when nothing seemed to move. And now I want you to know, change is closer than you think. The good news I bring you today is that your situation is not frozen. The doors you believed were permanently closed are not shut forever. I am a God who opens doors that no one else can open. When I move, circumstances change. When I speak, paths appear where there once seemed to be none. There are doors in front of you that you cannot yet see clearly. Some of those doors will open through opportunities you never expected. Others will open through people I place in your path at exactly the right time. You may have been looking in one direction, believing the answer would come from there. But my child, sometimes I choose a different path, one you never imagined, so that when the door opens you will know without a doubt that it came from me. I see the needs in your life. I see the areas where you have been searching for answers. Some of your questions are about your future. Some are about the situations you are facing right now. You have been asking for clarity, for help, for a sign that things are going to move forward again. The good news is that answers are coming. Not every answer arrives in the way people expect. Sometimes it comes as new understanding inside your heart. Sometimes it comes through a conversation that completely shifts your direction. Sometimes it comes through an opportunity that appears suddenly, opening a path you had never considered before. But when my answers arrive, they carry peace with them. They bring clarity where confusion once lived. They bring hope where discouragement once stood. My beloved child, I know there were moments when you believed you had to face everything alone. You looked around and wondered who would help you carry the burdens you were dealing with. You tried to solve things with your own strength, but some situations felt far too large for you to control on your own. That is why I want you to hear this good news clearly. Help is on the way. You may not yet know the people who will support you in the next chapter of your life, but I know them. I know where they are. I know the exact moment when your paths will cross. I know how the conversations will unfold and how the support you need will appear. Sometimes help comes quietly. It may show up through a simple conversation or an unexpected opportunity. Sometimes it arrives through someone who understands your situation far better than you expected. Sometimes it comes through a door opening that changes the entire direction of your life in ways you never imagined. But when help comes from my hand, it always arrives at the right time. You may feel a sense of excitement rising inside your heart as you hear these words. That excitement is not out of place. Hope is returning because your spirit is recognizing the truth being spoken to you. The season you have been walking through is shifting. I want you to imagine something for a moment, my child. Picture yourself standing in a hallway where every door appears closed. You walk forward and try one door after another, but nothing opens. Eventually, you begin to feel tired. You start to wonder if any door will ever open again. But then, suddenly, one door unlocks. Not because you forced it open, not because you found the perfect key, but because I opened it. My child, that is exactly what I am doing in your life right now. You have been walking through a season where the doors appeared closed. You have tried different paths and faced different obstacles. But I want you to know, the moment of opening is coming. It is not because of what you can do on your own. It is because I am moving on your behalf, opening the door that is meant for you at exactly the right time.